Oh, hi, don't mind me. Just a psychopath sitting here with some DC Universe classics to unbox. What's up, Internet? Join me as I dive a little bit deeper into DC UC. Still, just the toes. We're about, well, make with these about 5 toes deep because I will go. All right. I get it. I'm making a DC Universe Classics video wearing a Marvel hoodie. Don't click off the video. Grab the one I already have, which I should have done before this. But we have Martian Manhunter, not even in frame. There we go. What started it all. And I don't remember if the clip made it into a video, but semi on the fence, just because he did come out of the package a little wonky. I have yet to try and fix that with heat. His leg is a little bent. But what we do have here is essentially everything I got from Brick House this week. These have prices on them. I paid actually less than half of what I should have. Well, less than half of what the prices are. We got the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Aquaman, everybody's favorite DC superhero, Green Arrow, and Raven of the Teen Titans. I'm gonna go, so of course we gotta open up Aquaman first. And like I said, the prices on here says $35. It would have been $17.50. I paid a total of $50 for all of these, so I got a really good deal. I have a box cutter with me. I don't know if I'll need it. If I could just rip these open. I'm not gonna try and preserve the packaging in any way, shape, or form, so just dig right in. We have Aquaman with a Build-A-Figure piece for Gorilla Grodd. Not relevant. Well, I wouldn't mind having Gorilla Grodd. I do not see myself assembling the entire wave to get Gorilla Grodd because, well, I wouldn't mind Harley Quinn. I wouldn't mind Well, I guess it really is just the random blue Superman from the 90s that I don't care about. That was a weird time for comic books in general, the 90s. Whether you're a DC or Marvel fan or both. Like, well, I wasn't a DC fan in the 90s. I was a DC fan after the 90s. Once I was in, like, high school, I started reading pretty much every DC book that there was. Up until... I always trip up on, like, what the actual terms were. Because everything was 52-something. There was the actual 52, the countdown to 52... Infinite Crisis, Countdown to Infinite Crisis. I don't know. There was a whole lot going on. Basically, whatever it was where they rebooted everything in the new 52, I believe they called it. That's kind of when I fell off. I was planning on reading those books, and I got all my books from my comic shop back then, which would have been, I believe, either Kevin's Comics or Fables, depending on who was the owner at the time. And I, like, brought them home, read them, and I was just like, why do these characters act like they don't know who people they've met a lot, like other DC Universe characters are? Like, why does everybody act like strangers right now? It is wild. Alright. So just looking at this right off the jump, I'm noticing that this is not exactly what I would consider my ideal look for Aquaman, which I probably should have looked more into before I bought him. But I did get a great deal. He does come with his trident. I noticed that they're not all built equally in that Martian Manhunter came with a stand, which I thought was super convenient, especially considering how effed up his leg is. But Arthur here does not. I gotta say, the articulation is better than what I see from McFarlane in terms of what I like. I believe the sizing is better. Let's see what figure I have to compare it to. I just got Bullseye. So, if you see there, they're approximately in the same size category at the very least. Aquaman being a little bit taller, which would make sense. He is, an Atlantean superhero who probably does have a larger stature than random assassin guy. But here we go. We got Aquaman. Everything out of the package seems to be fine. Nothing damaged like Martian Manhunter. So that's a plus. And he'll look pretty good on the shelf for the Justice League of America. Speaking of Justice League of America, let's go with the next least interesting character to me. Green Arrow, a character I didn't really ever catch on with. He just seems like, as someone who is trying to protect his own city, like, that was the thing with DC characters, is it was like, superheroes would have, like, their own city. Like, Central City, Gotham, Metropolis, Star City for him. Luckily it says it on the back here because I could not remember. And it's just like, wow, like, what if you got mismatched? Like, what if you were the Green Arrow and you accidentally started superheroing in Metropolis? You wouldn't last that long trying to go up against Superman's villains. Like, you would just get packed the fuck up, right? Like, you wouldn't stand a chance. They would laugh at you. What is your Arrow gonna do to Doomsday? Right? So he was always kind of a character to me that I was underwhelmed with completely. And especially since he, like, in the comics I was reading, he always had, like, this kind of beef with Batman, where it's just like, Batman, like, you are not on Batman's level. You want to be. Like, I believe the character, his civilian, that is Green Arrow, is a billionaire, just like Bruce Wayne. Oliver Queen. I blank on their names because it's been a while. I'm out of practice with DC. Like I said, I bounced out after New 52, so haven't really dipped my toe back in other than watching stuff like Young Justice when that was, popular and before it was canceled. I think they brought it back. I haven't really looked into it again. I'm noticing that this guy might be a little bit more complicated to get out of the packaging because he does have multiple points of, like, fragility, I would say, that are, like, trapped in the plastic and have multiple layers of elastic on them to hold them in place for the pose. So we might just cut to when I have him out of here. I'm over here struggling so hard because I'm too lazy to get up to get, like, the better tools for this. If you guys open action figures, get yourself whatever one of these things is. It's like, comes in a nail kit. I find it's like the perfect thing for getting the little plastic things off of your action figures. And it's like super precise. And unless you're a jackass with it, you can't really mess your figures up. So there's always that bonus. Not really sure how his hand is supposed to hold this. I think they have him pose the opposite way that he's supposed to grip this bow. Yeah. They have him posed the opposite way. Interesting. Alright, talk about being unnecessarily difficult. Unless I'm an idiot, which is possible. It's perfectly possible here. They had him posed in the package the opposite, holding the bow the opposite way. that he should, because, like, you have his knocking hand here, which, of course, this is plastic, so he can't even pull this back, so you can't even really get him in a pose to draw the arrow, so it's like you really can only do neutral pose with him, I guess. Had to do a whole bunch of finagling just to get the bow out of the wrong hand and into the right hand. He does come with a stand. He does come with a bunch of gimmick arrows, which is, like, the other thing where it's just like, we're trying to take this character seriously. I'm not going to bother taking these out, because these are just going to go in a bin, because he has nowhere to hold them, nowhere to... He can't store them anyway, but you have, like, the punching glove arrow, and then a few other gimmick arrows that probably have explosives or what have you on them. I'm not familiar enough with his trick arrows to know exactly what those would be, but he does have those. I'll put that over there for later. On to the next one. We have Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. Honestly, a character I also know very little about. When I was into DC Comics, it was mainly Justice League, Batman, a surprising amount of Superman, considering how little I care about the character, to be honest. And a lot of Teen Titans, a lot of Robin, a lot of some of the spin-offs, like Secret Six, Catman, Deadshot, Bane, Harley Quinn, like stuff like that. Like some of the... I was into a lot less of the mainstream characters, so something like Firestorm is something I'm actually really excited to get. But for some reason they have two different versions, so I'm going to have to figure out which one I need to get, which one I remember from the comic books. Green Lantern does not want to come out easily. Despite not having any extra ties, I am worried, just based on track record of, am I going to damage the figure trying to get it out? And so far, everybody out of the package has been a lot better than Martian Manhunter, which is a big plus for the line in general. So you have Hal Jordan here with his power ring, his lantern, which I don't really think he really wields that often in battle. From what I remember, it's just like how he recharges his ring. And he could probably, I think he summons it at will or something like that. But really cool figure. Definitely trending more towards being in on this line. It does suck that they don't all come with a stand. Like, why did Aquaman not have a stand randomly? Like, that's just really kind of frustrating to me. And on to the last figure, the figure I'm looking forward to the most, and the one that if I was only going to grab one of these, I probably would have, because I would really like to get a Teen Titans shelf going. That was one of my main focuses. I watched the cartoon back in the day. I don't even know how to describe it. The one before Teen Titans Go. Just regular-ass Teen Titans. Absolutely love all the characters. Cyborg, Beast Boy especially. Robin, although on the show, it was never really that obvious which Robin you were getting. And my favorite Robin was always Tim Drake. What is this? Oh, it comes with a pin. That's random. And this one also has a Build-A-Figure piece for Validus, who I don't remember, and thus I will not be keeping. Validus. Does look like an interesting figure. This one is going to be interesting how to get this out, because this cape is all up in there. So we're probably going to cut to when I have this out. And we have Raven, who, I gotta be honest, feels kind of on the flimsier side, but much thinner plastic. I am not 100% crazy about the cape and the arc that they have here, because I know in some of the art she is depicted that way, but not all the art. And I feel like they kind of shoehorn you into the one arms up pose from the back of the box. So she definitely could have done with the stand, and I realized how horrible the framing for this video is overall. Glad to get it properly adjusted in the last 5 seconds. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Let me know in the comments below if you also collect DC Universe Classics, which I struggle with that name. It's actually relatively new to me. I don't remember anybody ever really talking about this before I saw it on Carbon Scoring's channel when he did a big room tour. And I kind of... It's hard to say I fell in love at first sight when I'm very judgmental of the figures in hand. But in terms of what I look for DC, these definitely are more in line with what I would like to collect. Yeah, so until next time, I'll be seeing you.